If you feel like you're somebody that's always struggled with your legs growing more than your glutes, or you feel more activation in your legs than your glutes, or you're just somebody that only wants to grow her booty and wants to keep the feminine legs, you gotta learn how to produce a pump, because this is where the glutes are isolated. So I'm showing you guys today how to produce an isolated glute pump, and we're gonna take you guys through a full glute workout from beginning to end. If your booty could speak to you and say, hey, I grew today, that is your pump. Tells you that you got high glute activation, you swelled the muscle cells, and you are growing. The pieces of equipment for glute isolation, getting an isolated glute pump: hip thrust belt, fabric booty band, BFR bands, peach gains red set, because you gotta look good doing it. And then we got the ankle straps for the cables, isolating all areas of the glutes. Look at that pump. Guys, the supplements we are taking today, we got creatine, peach gains creatine, and we're gonna mix that with the pre-workout peach mango delicious flavor. We're gonna mix these together for Alina's pump today. Straight leg kickbacks. I love to start the glute workouts with the straight legs. You guys see us do these every glute workout. We'll typically go 3 sets of 15 using your peach gains ankle straps. I do recommend the bench just because it's more stable. So when you're trying to increase your weights, really good. But making sure your knee gets up high enough to squeeze the glute, right? You gotta get all the way up to hip extension. Yep. So hitting the upper glutes. Love to start with some straight leg kickbacks. Really good. Then for the bench, I would set the bench about a foot away. If you guys are feeling like these ankle straps are digging into your shin, one, you can help that by wearing long socks and leggings. Or secondly, you can again move that bench a little further and start by twisting that ankle strap to the outside. Okay? But sometimes I feel like you guys just get used to it. It's a little battle scar from building your booty. You have a little bruise on your chin. Right, Alina? Do you feel it right now? Yeah, you do. See, you just get used to it sometimes. But I would say it's really just like trying to turn that ankle strap to the outside, starting it on the outside, and it usually stays there. If you're wearing long socks, where on your skin it can move a little more, right? My glutes look pretty today. We got lateral leg raises. So I know I got this weird setup going on, but it's only because this cable doesn't go all the way down to the ground. So I'm just gonna elevate her to match that height. And then I would recommend, if you guys don't have the dual cables, grab a hurdle so then you can grab onto the cable as well. And it's a good way to kind of just counterbalance yourself to stay stabilized. But if you have a dual cable, you guys should be able to just hold on in the middle or hold on to these. But today, this is what we're working with. So we're gonna show you guys. Here we go. So I like to start with 2 glute isolated exercises just to get some blood flow going. And then we'll jump into some of the compounds if it's that day. Today, we're gonna show you guys single leg hip thrust instead of the barbell hip thrust because the single legs are more isolated. So lateral leg raises. Yes, I want you to kick from behind. Why? So that this hip stays closed. It helps you keep your hip closed. And if the hip is closed, you're not folding at your hip like this, and you're actually activating your glute, right? So we'll go 3 sets of 15. Notice how she's tilted forward, chest about 45 to the ground so that she has room to get hip extension. Same thing on your straight leg kickbacks. You gotta get that knee up to hip extension. You should be forming that indent in your cheek every time. Really good. And we'll typically go 3 sets of 15, and we're gonna superset these 2 back and forth. I get a lot of questions about how long your glute workout should take. I'd say we take anywhere from 60 to 75 minutes, but we are supersetting 2 exercises back and forth to save that time. So you get a break on your straight legs, then you come over to your lateral leg raises, hitting the lateral glute, then you go back. Okay, we got the peach gains hip thrust belt. The belt to isolate those glutes in your single leg hip thrust or your hip thrust. You're gonna feel a lot more upper glute activation on these because of the isolation you get. All that mind to muscle connection, that focus is all on your glutes. Not having to balance a barbell on your hips makes it that much more isolated with just the belt sitting on your hips, just pushing the weight. So here we go. We're going to show you guys some single leg hip thrusts. using your Peach Gains belt. We got 17.5 pounds on each side on the belt. So I like to do these at least once a week, okay? At least once a week in the middle of the week on our glute isolated day, which is today. We're showing you guys a full glute workout, isolating the glutes. Good. So something high enough on the box. Place yourself high enough to get deep into a hip flexion and then reach up to hip extension. How to get leveled, Riley? Yeah, beautiful. But make sure you guys get a good 1 second squeeze. Yeah, give yourself time to squeeze. There you go. Don't just fly through your reps. You're not going to get enough time under tension to activate those glutes and feel the contraction in your upper glutes. Really good. Make your reps count. Don't fly through your reps. Beautiful. Notice how her heel is under her knee, so it forms a 90-degree when she gets to the top. And then her rib cage, her hips, and her knee form a straight line. Yeah, this is great form. Really good form. And she's giving it a good second pause at the top. Beautiful. And then in between, we're going to show you guys how to keep that time under tension and producing the pump. And we're going to do banded hip thrusts in between. So right after this, she's going to drop the weight and she's going to pump out banded hip thrusts. 2 legs. You got your Peach Gains black fabric booty band. Here you go. All right, now we got 2 legs. And she's going to pump these out, 20, getting a nice squeeze at the top. Resist the band through those knees. That's what I want you to focus on, is keeping those knees open. Resisting that band, keeping that band nice and tight. You're going to feel a lot of burn in your lateral glute as you work up to hip extension, contracting your upper glute. So good. But this is how you guys produce that pump, that mind to muscle connection. The highest glute activation is with this booty band, which is why your glutes feel on fire when you guys are just using the band. So I always love to superset the loads with lighter resistance like the band and body weight and get that mind to muscle connection, the most overlooked aspect of glute growth. But this is how you guys isolate the booty to grow. Glute isolation comes from contracting the glutes. Lovely. Good. All right. Barbell glute bridges, all upper glute contraction. If there's an exercise that you want to just lift super, super heavy on and know that only your glutes are going to grow, it's this guy right here. So I like to try to get us as heavy as possible, but then I like to superset, again, like I've told you, with lower resistance, with maybe like a fabric booty band, and we'll pump out more to keep a longer time under tension. So we got barbell glute bridges here with some weight. We got 25s on each side. And we're gonna go 15. So making sure your heels are tucked under you. You don't want your heels too far out. You're gonna feel that in your hamstrings, okay? So heels closer, the better. And then just adjust from there and where you feel it. Duck feet also helps on all your glute exercises and feeling more activation. For some girls not. Some girls love it neutral, like Alina. So we're going back flat, come all the way up and give a good second squeeze. Remember, all your contracting exercises, give a second squeeze. Really good. Back flat, reset the pelvic tilt, boom. And at the top, same situation as your hip thrusts. Your hips, your knees, and your rib cage forms a straight line. You don't want to hyperextend these and bring your rib cage higher than your hips, okay? So we're gonna roll this guy off, and she's gonna do 20 more with just the band. So again, another superset, weighted exercise, supersetting with some band work. Mind to muscle connection, producing that pump, isolating the glutes. The glute isolation happens in the mind to muscle connection, contracting the glutes. So resisting the knees, like she is here, keeping that band nice and tight. She's got 20 more, back flat, getting a nice squeeze. Get your back all the way down. There you go. Reset the pelvic tilt. And heels tucked under her. Lovely. It'll probably be a lot easier for you to tuck your heels closer when you don't have the barbell on your hips versus when you do. So take advantage and really feel that engagement. Lovely. Yep, 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 yep. I love these. And here's a good way for you guys to see it. Once you get to the top, hips, rib cage, and knees form a straight line. Give it a second to squeeze. Okay. All right, here we go. She up the weight. We got a 25, two 25s on each side, and a 10. Really good. And still getting a good lockout at the top. A nice 1 second squeeze. I like to start the sets, hip thrusts and glute bridges with maybe a 25 or 45 on each side. Yeah. But my rule is if they can get at least 10, we're going up that set. Until they fail below 10, that's their max weight for this glute workout. But she was able to do 15 all the way up till now, and she still can do 15. Beautiful. But that's why I like to do 4 sets on these barbell glute bridges, so that they have time to go up and try to hit their max. And then let's just say they fail. Let's say she failed at this before 10. Then next time we come back, Alina, can you get out of my way? Next time we come back to this glute workout, then we're gonna try to carry that load again for 15. And then so on and so forth, trying to up that every time. VFR is going for the pump. Why am I putting on the VFRs for the pump? Because we have low resistance and I want to get more burn, more swelling in the muscles through restricted blood flow, which is what these do. Alina, what in the world are you doing? Here, I got it. Here, pull your shorts down a little bit. She's being very complicated right now. All right, there we go. So we usually do, I think it's usually 9, huh? Yeah, it's actually stretched to 8 today. So then they got numbers so you can see how tight you want them. So we'll usually do 8 to 9 is a good resistance for her. Boom, boom, boom. But these bands are restricting that blood flow, which is forcing your muscles to work much harder, especially with lighter resistance when you're getting better mind to muscle connection, isolating the glutes. But yeah, you got your orange and black color, each gains, VFR bands. Yes, we'll use them during the entire workout as well, but not today. I just want to use them for the burnout. Again, I recommend you guys train for at least 2 months, like to where your forms are, you're confident in your forms, which means then you can progressive overload. Once you got those 2 things down, then you can start to add the bands. But I would say if you're somebody that's new, I typically don't start the bands with the girls until like 2 months in phase 3. So there's 1, 2, 3, there's 3 phases in the 12-week booty program. By phase 3, they can start using the bands once those forms are solid and they're increasing weights. But today we're just gonna use it for the burnout to get that metabolic stress. You ready to go? Let's do it. All right, here we go. Burnout. This is where the this is where the pump is produced. This is where you get the high school activation and you leave nothing left on the table for the glutes. Fatigue the glutes as much as possible, recruit as many muscle fibers as possible. So, which is why we threw these bands on, for that metabolic stress. The swelling of the muscle cells. So we are, like I said, on the frog pumps, you want to be on the sides of your feet, resist that band. I would bring this down a little lower because I want her knees to be even wider. And I would recommend you guys do this too. Start a little lower. It'll be easier for you guys to keep that band open as your glutes are burning and you're trying to finish these reps. So we're gonna go 3 rounds of 30. 3 rounds of 30. As you start to get more advanced, you can start to go for 30 to 40. And a lot of the times your glutes will give out by the time you get to 40. So it counts as a failure set. Lovely. But let's just say we were doing, because we're doing banded donkey kickbacks and superset with these. If we were just doing the banded frog pumps, I would have her do 3 rounds of failure and then a minute break in between each one. Really good. Back flat. She doesn't like to get her back flat. There you go. Reset the pelvic tilt. Getting a nice squeeze. Producing the pump. This is so important to the end of your glute workouts. When you guys are trying to see significant growth in the glutes, isolating the glutes to grow, you need an isolated glute pump. Don't sleep on these accessory exercises. This is where you get the highest glute activation. Okay. Now we're gonna use this box that I'm sitting on, Miss Alina, And you're gonna do donkeys. I mean, you can either do donkeys on the ground, or you can put your knee on this box. You just typically get more range of motion and it's more stabilized. You put your knee up there. What do? Try. But you need to keep one toe on the ground so you can resist. Yeah. All right, we got 20 donkeys. Yeah, there you go. 20 donkey kickbacks. At this point, your glutes will be on fire. So again, you can start this band where she has it a little up more towards your mid-thigh, so you get that range of motion. You want to get this knee high enough to squeeze your upper glute, right? So working up to hip extension. She's got 20 each leg, hitting these more like a quadruped. Either one, donkey, quadruped, they're very similar. Donkeys, you're just extending your leg out. Quadruped, you're keeping at 90, which could be better, keeping the time under tension on the upper glute. But we do these with ankle weights as well. I love it even more with the fabric booty band because of the time under tension that's held through that fabric band. Okay, so 20 each leg. We're doing these back and forth, 3 rounds. Good. And getting that nice squeeze every time. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. And you guys can do these flat on the ground too. That's okay. This is just me being picky. Good. I just like that you can get a little more range of motion when you're elevated with your knee and you're resisting with your toe and your knee against something. I think it helps you get more range of motion. Try it. You can try it flat on the ground too. Woo! Are the glutes on fire yet? No? Yeah, they are? Okay. I know they are. She's just really good at holding it in. All right. Look at that pump. This is after a glute isolation day. You guys saw the heaviest on weight we got today was the barbell glute bridges. A lot of this was light resistance, high volume, and then producing that pump at the end with fabric booty band and these BFR bands. And look at the swelling of her glute muscles. Gnarly pump. And we're gonna show you guys what it looks like without the BFR bands. But you got your Peach Gains red set and your Peach Gains BFR bands and your fabric booty band and ankle straps that we used today for our glute isolation day. Oh, and the hip thrust belt. The pieces of equipment for glute isolation, getting an isolated glute pump, hip thrust belt, fabric booty band, BFR bands, Peach Gains red set, because you gotta look good doing it. And then we got the ankle straps for the cables, isolating all areas of the glutes. Look at that pump. Remember, when you're only wanting to grow the booty and not the legs, it takes a specific isolated routine. And compounds is where most girls get confused because the other leg muscles are assisted, if not dominant, in those compounds. So in my last video, I posted 6 exercises, 6 compounds that we do every week that are glute focused and how I make those more glute focused for the under glutes. Most of your compounds, like your squats, your lunges, box step ups, are for the under glutes. We do those for the under glutes where more of your contracting exercises are for the upper glutes. So check that video out for last week if you guys are wondering which compounds you should be doing for only glute focused growth and not wanting to grow your legs. Now, catch my webinar next week, next Thursday on the 14th, where I'll be going over our online training and more, where you guys can get in, learn about me, learn about the team, learn about the online trainers, my amazing female trainers. But I'll see you guys next week on going over an at-home routine. I want to get back into teaching you guys how to grow your glutes at home, because I've always said start at home before you transition into a gym. You can make a lot of progress at home. You've seen amazing transformations have been achieved in 12 weeks from the 12-week booty program, but I'm launching a new one soon. So stay tuned and I'm gonna show you guys a little sneak peek next week in our YouTube video on what that looks like, building your booty at home. Peace. I'll see you guys next week.